they're off to the best start. They're playing good football. Jalen Hurts is playing his way into being a franchise quarterback. I tipped my cap to him. I didn't expect this out of him.
I'm going to be very interested to see on what shakes out here when we see Doug Pederson go through that tunnel and also the Jags play the Eagles. I think there's going to be bad weather there. Let's go over to my friend Jason Cole now, and I want to get Jason's talk and thoughts on what he saw last night. Jason, I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, good. Jason, just give me your sense of what you how you look at this story that started Sunday and what happened on Thursday night.
Like, I'm always a little hesitant to get too far down the line when I'm not a doctor, right? And that's not to say that things aren't fishy here. And you wonder, did Tua talk him in, the independent neurologist into letting him play? I think we're beyond the point of teams putting pressure on the doctors and that being an issue. But players want to play, especially a kid who's got this much money riding on the line. Look, this is a big year for him to prove whether he's a top-level starter or not. And, because of that, he's going to want to play in every game. They're off to a 3-0 start. Everything kind of works together for him to want to push this. And that's exactly what the doctor is there to prevent. And now what happened yesterday, clearly, that's a classic back of the head injury. You know that. The question I have is, what really happened on Sunday? And I want a clear understanding of what happened on Sunday. Was this a back injury? Was it not? And I think that Tom Mayer, the doctor for the NFL Players Association, is going to be honest about this. I've never seen anybody question the ethics of Tom Mayer. But it's always a complicated thing because as well as I do, players want to play and the teams want them to play. So there's this inherent pressure to let guys get back out on the field, whether that's wise or not. But we always have to be vigilant about this program and how it works. I will say that.
Jace, the problem that I have when you go on social media or you hear some of the talk shows, Mike McDaniel should have, and I'm like this, Mike McDaniel's not a doctor. He can't override what a neurologist is saying about a player if he clears them. And I don't want the head coach or the general manager to have a say in a player's health because he's not qualified. So I think people have to know the chain of command that goes on. And you mentioned, of course, the doctor for the Players Association, the independent guy. To me, that injury last night happened on Sunday, in my opinion. But I want to know if.
But you're not. Correct. But you're not a doctor anymore.
I'm not.
And so this is where you have to turn the expertise over to the doctors. If the doctors say that no, it was a back injury on Sunday, I'm going to trust that. Now my eyes tell me something different, but I'm supposed to, that's why we put independent neurologists out on the field to evaluate the situation and make them as powerful as they possibly can be in these kinds of situations, knowing full well that there is tremendous pressure from players and teams. It's inherent because they're trying to win a game. And they think at that moment in time, they think all of life is dependent on winning this football game, where you and I both know and go, come on, guys, stop. This is
quality of life has to be supersede everything.
Just the bottom line is this is entertainment. Okay. It means a lot. We like to discuss it. We like to argue about it. There's a history to it, but stop yourself for a second. You're just there to entertain people. You're there to win, make people feel good. That's what this is about. That's why, Simone Biles, when she bowed out of the Olympics, this is it's not my issue. I feel bad because she didn't compete. I wanted to see her compete, but I'm not getting on her case. she's the one who has to go out there and and deal with it. And I don't know what that's like. And I mean, that's not even a concussion issue, but like, take care of yourself. Make sure you're okay first.
You think he gets cleared again to play this year?
I have no idea. No idea. I don't know how bad it is. Like, look, that looks ugly with the
the hands up, the
it's not
visual.
convulsions. Yeah, the visual is ugly. I remember that happening. I said it on Twitter last night. I remember Jim Youngblood, not Jack Youngblood, but Jim Youngblood, the linebacker who played with the Rams. And there's no relation to Jack Youngblood. They just happen to have the same last name. But Jim Youngblood, had one of those awful classic 1960s, 1970s sacks of Tommy Kramer, where he basically flipped Tommy Kramer on his head. And I remember the camera closing in as as Kramer's arm is going through convulsions and his hand is doing worse than what you saw last night. It's uglier, right? It's an awful thing. But when it comes to this kind of science, this kind of medicine, I don't know. I can tell you with pretty good surety how long a high ankle sprain takes to heal. I can tell you how long most MCLs take to heal. Head injuries, we're talking about a whole different science.
Absolutely. Jace, couple last questions here for you. Do you think the Eagles, after the first month of the season, are the best team in the NFC?
No. They're off to the best start. They're playing good football. Jalen Hurts is playing his way into being a franchise quarterback. I tipped my cap to him. I didn't expect this out of him. Best team in the NFC?
Still the Bucs?
It's Bucs. Still the Rams. I think the 49ers are actually better than them. Like, if the 49ers and the Eagles were to play, the 49ers have stumbled here into a 1-2 start where they should at least be 2-1. But yeah, just quality of play bet. I think those teams are better. But Philly has closed the gap significantly.
Absolutely. Let me do this. Let me do this on the Cowboys here. If Cooper Rush wins against Washington and gets out to a 3-1 start, Dak's practicing today. If you're Jerry Jones and Steven, do you put him back in the Rams game? And you're not going to put him back in the Eagle game. You'd want to have him in, I would think, before that, more likely the Rams game here. Do you think that if he continues to win, Jerry's going to go like this? Hey, no, let's put him back in here when you're 3-1, and you have an opportunity to keep the momentum going here.
No, he paid a lot of money for Dak, number one. Look, number one, I don't think the choice is necessarily Steven and Jerry, although they are the coaches. Again, I go back to, what does the doctor tell you? Does the doctor say that the kid's okay or not? Is he fully back to health? What Cooper Rush is buying you is a little bit more time to let Dak rest and to get back to full health. But the judgment is Dak Prescott is the better player right now, unless they see something in practice that I don't know. But I would have thought if they saw something in practice that we didn't know out of Cooper Rush, he'd have been starting before this, right? So Dak Prescott's the guy.
Final question for you. If you had to pick between these two guys when it came to being NFL Coach of the Year candidates, Doug Pederson or Nick Sirianni, who would you take?
Oh, I'd probably lean toward Nick Sirianni. I mean, look, winning matters. 3-0 versus 2-1. But Doug Pederson, heck of a start. You put 38 on the Chargers.
And beat them up, Jace.
Yeah, you put 38 on the Chargers.
You shut out the Colts, who just beat the Chiefs.
Right. You got your team going the right way, and you're a flip of the coin basically from being 3-0, because of Washington. This is a really impressive start, and it tells you the value of just being organized and running plays the right way, which just further tells you this is how bad Urban Meyer was at this. And I don't mean that to disparage Doug Pederson. He's doing a fine job so far. But last season was a joke of how uncompetitive they were. throughout the season.
And how unprofessional the whole thing was.
And so the whole thing was just a mess. It's a joke. Like, it's a joke. This is what Urban Meyer is a joke, who happens to be a really good. Yeah, he's won a lot of football games. In college, people go, "Oh, yeah, look at what he did." He's a great recruiter who cheated like crazy at the college level to get players, and has no ethics, no morals. He's just a bad human being.
He is. If you want to win a lot of games, I say this, Jace. You want to win a lot of games, Nebraska should hire Urban Meyer. If you want to lose your soul, hire Urban Meyer.
Yeah, and trust me, he's. Let me also say this: he's not the worst human being to ever coach at the college level, but I think he's probably right up there among guys who triumphed and profited off of college football in terms of being a completely unethical human being.
Absolutely. Jace, great stuff, man. I appreciate you finding time for me. Should be a great week for the NFL. Thank you, brother.
All right, dude. Be good.